Hey, in this video, I'm going to be explaining how to heal and overcome anxiety for good. There's 3 key areas you need to understand to get a real comprehensive healing of anxiety. I'm going to share these with you. I'm also going to explain exactly what you can do to fix these 3 key areas. Now, a lot of traditional anxiety treatments either don't cover any of these areas or they only cover 1 or 2 of them. Unless you cover all 3, your anxiety will persist, because this is what I went through. It's only when I uncovered these 3 areas was I able to finally overcome it. Things like medication aren't going to help you. Even therapy is not going to help you from my experience. You need to follow these 3 steps. So I'm going to share them with you now in no particular order. They are all important. They will require some effort, time, and persistence to master them. But eventually you will be free of anxiety. So the first area is nervous system healing. Now, this is a very popular topic these days. Anxiety is a nervous system disorder. That means when you're experiencing anxiety, your nervous system doesn't feel safe. Your nervous system is the foundation of your being. You've probably heard of fight or flight or survival mode. When you are in anxiety, you're going into fight or flight survival because you don't feel safe. Now, from an evolutionary standpoint, this state was healthy and positive because it helped us survive, because thousands of years ago, there was a lot of unpredictability and real challenges that you had to overcome, real threats. So you needed this part of your system to survive. However, fast forward to our modern day and there's no real threats anymore, especially in the first world countries. However, this system is still being activated. The reason it's still being activated for many of you is because you've probably had some difficult life circumstances, trauma, abuse, bullying, or just some overwhelming things you couldn't deal with. When we have these difficult experiences, it can overwhelm our system, and our system then goes into this survival, fight or flight state. And it then can get stuck there. And if you had difficult experiences growing up, your system likely got stuck in this kind of survival state. So now you're an adult, you've grown up, and you're still stuck there. So now anything that comes up in your experience, which is a little bit unpredictable or maybe a little bit threatening, it automatically hijacks you and puts you back into fight or flight, making you anxious, making you scared, making you worried, completely hijacking you. So understand what is going on a physiological level. Your system is being hijacked. Until you can begin to calm your system down, make it realize that it's safe, there's no real threat there, you are still going to experience anxiety. This is a very deep topic. I suggest you go out there and you learn a lot and read a lot about this. There's only so much I can cover in this video, but I've give you the essentials there, the basics. In order to heal this, you need to bring safety to your body. You need to calm your system down. So the next time you are feeling anxious or scared, are you able to take some deep breaths and calm your system down, to feel the agitation in your system and bring it peace? Bring it safety, make it feel safe. You can even use affirmations such as I am safe, along with deep breaths. Along with this, I would suggest that you work on embodiment practices. Now, embodiment practices means you bring your energy into your body. You ground your energy into your body. This is, again, something a lot of people who have anxiety don't do. They are not grounded. Because they are not grounded, they get carried away by their thoughts, right? They live more in their heads, probably because difficult things happened to them in the past. They didn't feel safe being in their body, so they almost try to escape themselves. And now you live in your head. When you live in your head, you are at the mercy of your thoughts. And that is not a very nice place to be, I know. So anything that brings you back into your body, things like yoga or any type of physical exercise, literally just meditating and feeling into your body, learning to ground your energy, This is going to take time. This is going to take practice because subconsciously you've been living in your head your whole life. So really look into embodiment practices and nervous system healing. Now, the second area you are going to have to fix is the emotional area. So fear is essentially an emotion. You feel fear, which is anxiety. The fear that an anxious person experiences is like a pattern that they have programmed themselves with. Anything happens, my default pattern is fear. And it's been running unconsciously probably for many, many years. And now what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to rewire the pattern that you had created. You need to create a new pattern, not fear, a new one. The pattern I would suggest is courage. If you want to put a spiritual spin on this, if you refer to David Hawkins' scale of consciousness, the level of courage, 200, is the first level of higher consciousness. People who struggle with anxiety need to make it to this level of courage. You can do this by simply embodying the emotion, feeling the energy of courage, regularly just bringing it up. You can do it in meditation. You can do it when you're walking down the street. You can do it when you're in public. You can do it anywhere. Just practice feeling, what does courage feel like? Because you know what fear feels like. It's automatic. It's a default for you. Until you begin to wire in a new pattern, you're always going to default back to fear. Even if you fix your nervous system, you still need to wire in a new pattern. I hope that makes sense, because if you don't wire in the new pattern, your mind will just subconsciously keep activating the fear, because that's the only pattern it's got. So by practicing feelings of courage and confidence is another good one. You will begin to wire this into your system. Then eventually, over time, it's going to take time for you to do this because you've been living under fear for so long. You will eventually be able to draw on this courage. You might go into a situation where you would usually feel anxious, but now you bring in a bit of awareness and you remember, oh, right, yeah, I've been practicing courage. Let me practice that feeling I've been practicing. That alone, when you do it in these anxious experiences and situations, is going to raise your confidence and courage a lot. That's what you need. You need experiences where it's something that was anxiety provoking, but you go through it with confidence and courage. That's what really shifts you and allows this new pattern to get embedded into your mind and body, into your psyche. Another reason this helps you is because it opens your heart. Now, when you're living in survival, your heart is closed. When you practice feeling higher emotions, not just courage and confidence, but gratitude and joy and peace, it opens your heart. When it opens your heart, it sends a powerful electromagnetic signal to your whole being, even to your whole energy system. 3-4 meters around you. That's how far your heartbeat emits a signal. So when you begin to experience positive emotion, that's the signal you're emitting outward. And then what that does is it entrains your whole system. It brings your whole system into alignment because the heart is that strong, right? It beats with such coherence and power when you are feeling these positive emotions. And that's what you're going to have to do to become a courageous person and to stop being an anxious person. Now, the final area I want to talk to you about is embracing uncertainty. So this is looking at it from a spiritual or even a psychological perspective. If you were to look inside the brain of an anxious person, they would have a deep belief. The core belief around anxiety is, I'm scared of uncertainty. I can't deal with the unknown, unpredictability. Anytime an anxious person gets in a situation where there's unpredictability, they can't deal with it. That's what makes them anxious. Take, for example, a socially anxious person, right? You can't control other people, unfortunately. And social situations are unpredictable. You don't know how they're going to go. That's why people have social anxiety, because it's too unpredictable for them and they can't manage the unpredictability of it. But this is essentially the same for all anxiety. So you need to get comfortable with unpredictability, with the unknown, with uncertainty. The more you get comfortable with uncertainty, the more confident you will become. I think one of the biggest reasons anxiety is getting worse and will continue to get worse is because of the technological advancements we see these days, particularly the information that we have access to. If you consider things like Google and ChatGPT, we have access to so much information now. You can find out literally anything you want to know. It's all there. This gives you a false illusion that you should know everything, right? That's the idea it paints in you subconsciously. You should know everything. However, the world is uncertain. There's a lot of uncertainty about the future. Nobody knows what's going to happen. It's uncontrollable. So all this technology is programming us to feel like I should know everything. But in actuality, you can never know everything. The world is unpredictable. The world is unknown. Your only way out of anxiety is to make peace with discomfort, with uncertainty and the unknown. And then, like I said, you'll become really confident. A truly confident person is not someone who has all the information and does what they can do with the information. No, a truly confident person is someone who can thrive in the unknown when they don't know how it's going to work out, or they're in a new situation and they work it out. They thrive, right? That's true confidence in my understanding. You can get there too. In order to embrace uncertainty, I would suggest you start with meditation and simple acts of discipline. For example, don't check your phone all the time. You might get a notification. Every time you get a notification, that's an impulse for you to know something. I need to know what that is. No, just leave it. You don't need to know everything all the time. Can you get comfortable not knowing everything all the time? If you follow the news, can you just go without following the news for a short while? And just little things. That's where you will find this comfort with uncertainty. Eventually, you're going to have to branch it out to bigger things. You're going to have to put yourself in situations where there's a little bit of uncertainty and learn to calm your system down. Learn to feel comfortable with uncertainty. Again, all of these steps I've given you are they're a process. It's not something you're going to do over a weekend. You're essentially reprogramming your whole system. But it needs to be done in this comprehensive way. Like I said at the beginning, if you don't deal with all three of these areas, you'll always have some kind of anxiety, I think. To be truly confident means your system is calm, your nervous system is calm. You've learned how to regulate it. You experience positive emotion most of the time, courage, confidence. You're not afraid of uncertainty. You're not afraid of the unknown. In fact, you thrive in the unknown. And when you can hit all these three areas and heal all these three areas, you'll be not only free of anxiety, but truly fearless. And that's what the world needs more of, fearless people, okay? So that's everything I've got to talk about. I hope this video helps some of you out. If you want to watch more videos like this, check out these videos right here. But until next time, God bless.